Hi guys, I'm here to continue my testimony videos. In my last testimony video on epilepsy, I stated that I would soon be talking about how God delivered me from depression and sorrow. So, starting with the story would be that from the time I was 9, because of the epilepsy and just the medical stress, I was depressed. I was very, very depressed. I was severely depressed from the time that I was 9 till about 14 years old. And that was, man, my life was really tough during that time. And I feel like I made it tougher for myself than it had to be, but I was just in such a thick fog of just bitterness and unhappiness. I was really mad at God for, letting me go through that. And then, shortly after all the epilepsy stuff kind of wrapped itself up, I was then diagnosed with scoliosis because when I had brain surgery, it interrupted the normal growth pattern of my spine. Also, it's really common to have scoliosis when you're like a teen. Oh my gosh, my cat is like attacking the wire. Stop it, Alice. And what was I saying? Oh yeah, it develops easily in teenagers. But I was pretty upset at that point. It's like, really? I just finished one medical trial. Here's another one. So I got really, really severe scoliosis that it was pretty bad. But I was really depressed, by the time, when I was in 8th grade, I actually, I developed really bad anxiety all the time, where I had bad anxiety attacks, especially in reaction to anyone rejecting me in some kind of a way, especially maybe, like, with boys. I would, like, flip out and have anxiety attacks and, like, pass out in the bathroom at school, and it was really bad because, I just didn't understand that I could give my life all over to Jesus and that I could be filled with such a peace, but I was like, I can do this, I can run my own life, I don't need God. That's a lie. That's not true. Alice, stop. And so I was really, really down, and I went to rehab in 8th grade for like 3 days because I had tried to harm myself, or I did harm myself and lost a lot of blood and passed out at school. And that was really, really horrible. And in that time, those 3 days in the pretty much prison, cement room, I just cried and cried and cried. And I think that's really probably the beginning of when God started to show me that there is more to life. I don't have to be that sad, because I cannot even explain to you, just, if you've ever been severely depressed, you understand that you don't understand the reasons why, but you are just so depressed and just so down and in this fog of just absolute misery. And there was just, I would go to youth group and just sit there and feel so unworthy of socializing with anyone because I thought I was a horrible person, and I just sat there in this depression, and people tried to reach out to me and I ignored them because I was so insecure and so full of depression. My cat is walking all over my room and my guitar amp, and this is very distracting. I'm trying to stay on topic here. So, then when I entered high school at age 14, man, high school was tough. I was just so completely insecure and still kind of depressed. But through me starting high school, I wasn't really depressed anymore. I remember trying to reach out to my friends because they were getting involved in some really bad stuff, like drugs and sex and stuff. And I remember talking about God to them and definitely trying to press through in my relationship with God, but it was just hard because I hadn't given my whole self over to Jesus yet. And it was just, kind of like the 1 foot in, 1 foot out thing, and that is called lukewarm, and God says in the Bible that if we are lukewarm, He will spit us out of His mouth and we won't inherit the kingdom of heaven. But, so, I was really working on it, and I just, God just started working in my heart to release me from that depression. I wasn't sure what he was doing at the time because I wasn't truly letting him in. But I was trying. I just didn't know how to let go of all the bondage that I was holding on to. So, just when I started high school, it just kind of started going on and started getting, less depressed. But really, by the time I was 15, I could say I definitely wasn't depressed anymore. Maybe I wasn't always the most positive person. Everyone in my youth group can tell you I've always kind of been, negative Sally. Some people think it's funny, and sometimes it is funny, and sometimes it's really not, because it's grow some positivity. So, but, especially now, let's skip ahead to now. God has just filled me with such amazing joy because I chose to give my life to him, and it wasn't easy at all. I just was so tired of holding on to so much heartbreak. I felt madly in love with this one boy. Never loved anyone more in my entire life, and the ending of that was really, really crushing. I wanted to focus more on God, and so I had to let that ungodly relationship go, and he just didn't really understand. He just knew that I was breaking up with him, and I guess it really hurt him, and he definitely hurt me back. But I am not going to spend my days crying over that every single day. I woke up for months just crying and just in this sadness, and I was like, you know what? I moved on from that pain so that I could focus more on Jesus, because I am so in love with Jesus, because he's just so amazingly beautiful and just takes away my sorrow, and that's just all I want. And I would like to talk about some scriptures that I found. The first one is in John 16, verse 20, in NASB and ASB, New American Standard Bible. It's my favorite version of the Bible. I understand it best. So, it says, "Truly, truly, I say to you that you will weep and lament, but the world will rejoice, because they like when you're stuck in your crap. You will grieve, but your grief will be turned into joy." And scriptures might seem just so simple and lame. Maybe they are. Exactly, they're simple so we can understand them. It says right here, Jesus said that, we are going to have our little fits, and we're going to get down, but he's going to turn that sorrow into joy. And that just really, really wrenched my soul. And then this is my favorite one about joy. When you're just trying to get more joyful, the best thing to go to is the Word, because it's just full of scriptures on joy, full of scriptures on anything you really need to know. It says, "You have made known to me the ways of life. You will make me full of gladness with your presence." Acts 2:28, NASB. So, you know what? God just told me in his word that he will make me full of gladness because he's just here within me. So, that's really awesome. I struggle with severe anxiety, paranoia, so many problems. It was ridiculous. I was an emotional wreck. And that didn't even fully go away until probably a few months ago, because I had not given it all over to God, and I'm just so happy to have given everything to Jesus, because I don't have to hold on to any pain anymore, and I had so much pain to hold on to, and I'm over it. God is going to keep working in my heart. I hope this has inspired you to, look in the Word for scriptures on joy, and just let yourself be filled. Just let yourself accept Jesus. Let it just be known that you don't have to carry this problem anymore. Also, a little helpful tip on finding scriptures for anything you're going through is my Pretty Much Bible. This book called Light for My Path for teens. They also have just the normal version, but this is the one I have. Illuminating selections from the Bible. It doesn't really have an author or anything, because it would be all plagiarized if it was. But go to the Christian bookstore, look for this red book, or just ask for the Light for Path book for your path, and anything you want to find. See, look, I open right here, joy. That's amazing. God is so good. I didn't even mean to open up to that page. That's amazing. Get this book. Let Jesus love you. Thank you.